evening, guys. Good evening, good evening. This is Arlo ASMR, and welcome back. I hope you're all having a lovely evening, lovely morning, lovely day, whenever you're watching this. It is currently, I was going to say Tuesday, but it's now Wednesday, the 29th of April. At roughly 1:30 in the morning. I have finished work approximately an hour and a half ago. Just got back from the gym, showered, feeling fresh and somewhat ready for bed, but I wanted to try and just get another video recorded so I could get that out sooner rather than later. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to put my chair, like armrests down without making too much noise. Alright, I think we did it. Okay, for tonight's video, I kind of really enjoyed just talking about the Blu-ray collection I had, and I figured I would just potentially look at a couple of my normal DVD collections and show some of those and ramble about them a bit. So we'll see how this video goes. I do apologise if you can hear my partner's computer in the background. It's a pretty noisy beast, but it actually isn't. It's just super quiet, and that seems to be the only other noise around, so hopefully it's not too disruptive. But if it is, I guess I'll see in the editing and I'll decide whether or not it's too disruptive for upload. I feel like I just had a mind blank. Alright. The DVDs tonight are, there's no real theme. I don't have a specific genre of movies or anything. I just grabbed a bunch that I felt comfortable talking shit about for a video. So yeah, without too much more talking. Oh, English is not my best tonight. Without much more talking, let's get into it. The first one that I have is actually probably one of my favorites, but Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite. I could give a rundown of what this movie's about, but it's really just following John Heater's character through high school, and I guess running for president, or not even him really, but helping his friend run for president, which is Pedro. Vote for Pedro. It's really funny. I can't remember if it's his uncle or his cousin, but the guy who comes to live with them when his aunt or grandmother needs to go out of town. It's incredible. Really weird niche indie movie, I would say. Not indie no one knows about it, but indie low budget, and they probably didn't expect it to be as much of a cultural phenomenon as I think it ended up being. But it's a killer movie, and if you're looking for just some kind of stupid type of comedy, I would have to recommend this one very much. there's also obviously the probably one of the most iconic movie lines from this movie, which is, "Tina, you fat lard, come get your dinner." Or "come get some dinner," I think either one. But yeah, the "Tina, you fat lard," which is Napoleon Dynamite talking to, I think it's their llama or their alpaca. One of those. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's pretty funny, and yeah, just a good one to put for low stakes. I would say there's not much in it that's gonna make you feel anxious or anything like that. It's just a stupid movie to watch, and it's pretty good because of it. Alright, the next one I've got is Grease. So this is the first Grease because, not being funny, but the second Grease is arse. I'm sorry if there's anyone who likes the second Grease, no offense or anything, but in comparison to the Grease, it's pretty butthole, but everyone's got their thing, and that's fine, no judgment. But how can you go wrong with Grease? I feel like it was a pretty good musical movie of its time. It's definitely aged well. This is still a pretty timeless movie. I think people of all generations probably enjoy Grease. You just can't go wrong with it. Of course, this is pretty much Olivia Newton-John's most iconic role, and obviously John Travolta's done a lot more stuff besides this, but I would say this is probably also one of his most popular and well-known roles. But in saying that, he has done a lot, so he could be known for a lot more. But yeah, Grease, and it actually comes with a bonus songbook. Let me see if I can open that up and bring it out for you guys without making too much noise. That's the songbook there. Let's have a quick flip through. We've got the two icons of Grease. So it's a songbook, of course, and the list is Summer Nights. Look at me, I'm Sandra D. Hopelessly devoted to you. Greased Lightning. Beauty School Dropout. Sandy. There are worse things I could do. Look at me, I'm Sandra D. Reprise. You're the one that I want. And last but not least is We Go Together. So that's kind of how it looks. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Just kind of giving you is just fun and upbeat, and I love the ABBA songs, and I love the way they do the ABBA songs. Yeah, it's a really fun and enjoyable movie, and I wish I had that on DVD to show you guys, but hopefully I'll be able to find it in a thrift shop and add it to the collection. That's mainly where I try to find most of my DVDs nowadays, because most shops that sell DVDs still are selling them for a crazy amount, especially when it's a bit of a dying media, and like I'm okay to pay pretty hefty prices for things, but there's no reason that a movie from the 1990s should be over $40. What do you mean? Yeah, so I do put my foot down a little bit there and refuse to purchase those DVDs, but I definitely I take advantage of the sales that come up, and yeah, the thrift store shopping is really fun. Anyway, let's get into it. Realize I've just done 2 movies and it's been like 11 minutes, so oh my god, let's keep this rolling. The next one is Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Now, the Fast and the Furious franchise, I will admit, has gotten a little out of hand, but I would say the first 4 or 5 were pretty top tier, and I really enjoyed them. 6 and 7 was probably even not too bad, but like the moment Hobbs and Shaw and all of that kind of got dragged out, I got bored, I really did. But Tokyo Drift is arguably the best Fast and Furious movie, if not just for the scenes, also then just for the soundtrack. Yeah, you absolutely couldn't go wrong with the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift movie. If anyone else is a Fast and the Furious franchise fan, Jesus, that's a mouthful, but yeah, if anyone else likes those movies, let me know what your favourite is. I will respectfully judge you if it's any of the Hobbs and Shaw movies, but I'll do it with love. With so much love. Alright, this one's probably not super expected, but I watched it when I was younger, and I just remember being so affected by it that it's probably just one of my favourite movies because of that, but it is City of Angels with Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan. Now there is obviously just beautiful songs that have come out of this movie, but I also just think I have a bit of a soft spot for Meg Ryan. I thought she was quite a good actress, and I liked her. Nicolas Cage is just also pretty iconic too. I know he's become a bit of a meme nowadays, but he's pretty good, and I really liked most of his stuff, to be honest. I think besides this one, National Treasure, and what's it called now? God, I'm so annoyed that I can't remember it because I watch it all the time, but it's the movie where he has to help his brother steal a whole bunch of cars. I will remember it and put it in here, but yeah, that's where he's got that 67 like Ford Mustang called Eleanor. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's got Angelina Jolie in it. Really good movie. I really liked it. But yeah, Nicolas Cage, love him, and loved him in the City of Angels. Yeah. Okay. Next one we have is the first Avatar. So Avatar's pretty like cinematically spectacular, if I'm being honest. The CGI, the amount of research that I guess went into doing certain parts, like when it's underwater or when it was in the air, yeah, like, we spent a lot of time on, I guess, making these films and trying to make them perfect or as close to perfect as he could. I wouldn't say they're all perfect, but I definitely think Avatar kind of, I don't know, it gave us a similar feel to the Jurassic Park kind of vibes and movies I found, with obviously a bit more of a different tone and creatures, I guess, and species. Creatures is the wrong word, species. But I don't know, it was definitely that sort of like how things play out when you shouldn't be somewhere and when you're kinda, I don't want to say trying to invade, but trying to take space from creatures that are probably, I keep saying creatures is so rude, from a species who were there first. Yeah, Jurassic Park's a little different because I know they remade the species and tried to, bring them back from extinction and stuff, so it was a little bit more man-made than the Avatar movies were, but I think the premise is kind of the same, people finding new things, exploring these new things, and then exploiting these new things is kind of the main gist of it, I would say. And then obviously just watching the movie play out, it was, yeah, I really enjoyed it. The music was incredible. I think that is what makes a lot of movies for me, the score and the soundtrack. That could really make or break a movie for me, I think, because I connect so much more with music than I do with movies. Don't get me wrong, I connect a lot with movies, but if you took away the musical component of the movies, I would probably connect less, and that's the point, really. Like, that's the point of adding the soundtracks and the music and sound effects to these things, so I'm sure a lot of people feel the same. But there are also some people who can watch silent films, and for me, silent films are boring as hell. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but each to their own, and never a judgment ever. Alright, next one. Next one we have 50 First Dates. Now, Adam Sandler is probably another one of my just like favourite actors, directors, producers, the whole bag. There's a very, very small handful of his movies that I don't love, like Jack and Jill, Waterboy. I know Waterboy's a classic, but it just didn't tickle my fancy as much as these others did. I love Billy Madison, I loved Mr. Deeds, yeah, like I loved the other older ones. 50 First Dates was incredible. I actually quite liked The Longest Yard as well. That was a bit more dramatic, I think, than funny, but it was really good, and there were definitely comedic elements to it. So 50 First Dates and Blended, Just Go With It, and Grown Ups 1 and 2, I would say are probably my most watched Adam Sandler movies as of right now. I'm kind of cycling through those ones, as kind of just put on in the background to have something in the background. But I do feel like they're very easily watched movies, and there is some pretty stupid humor in them, but I find it really easy to digest and just have that little giggle. It's not, I would say, whimsical, but it's just off, like whimsy adjacent. Yeah, you can't go wrong with an Adam Sandler movie. This is in similar vein, I think. Actually, I think a lot of the movies, the next couple of movies are in the similar vein, but the next one we have is Dodgeball with Vince Vaughn. 1996. So I think anyone around my generation probably likes this movie, or at least knows this movie and has seen it. The premise is nothing too crazy. Vince Vaughn plays, I guess, the good guy, but he's kind of like an anti-hero type of thing, where he needs money to save his gym, and he gets a group of ragtag friends of his together so they can enter a dodgeball tournament, and they play against Ben Stiller's character and his team, which I'm thinking like the Cobras or something, to try and win the money, and it's just pretty damn funny. Ben Stiller's a pretty cooked unit and like character in this movie, and I also think I've enjoyed Vince Vaughn stuff fairly regularly. I liked what's that? I think it's The Breakup or something with him and Jennifer Aniston, and then The Couples Retreat as well as Dodgeball. I've really enjoyed. So yeah, found Vince Vaughn's humour, I guess, pretty funny. Some of it doesn't age super well, but for when it was made in the time, I thought, yeah, pretty funny. Alright, next one that some people might have felt didn't age very well, but I think is absolutely fucking hilarious, is Superbad. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Superbad in my opinion. It is quite a good, I guess, visual representation of what teenage boys are like. You know, it's yeah, it's pretty much on par with, and I'm not gonna say all teenage boys, but at least from my experience, and you know, the boys that I used to hang around with, and the way we all were, we were all a little bit like this. Maybe not so vulgar, like Jonah Hill's character in this is pretty disgusting sometimes, but there were certainly moments where me and my mates were saying some just whack shit that if I were to say it now, or even hear someone say it now, I would be pretty like, oh god. But you know, when you're 16, 17, you're, I guess, developing who you are as a person, and it's just too easy to be a gross boy with your boys. So yeah, you can't go wrong with Superbad, and I thought it was yeah, just a funny movie to watch, and it's ended up being pretty not timeless, but for me timeless in the way where I can just watch it wherever. I don't get bored of it, and yeah, I can just put it on whenever I'm doing anything and find I'm still engaged enough with both watching the movie and doing the other task I'm doing, so that's always a plus. We love a multitasking opportunity. Okay, the next one I've got for you is Blades of Glory, another John Heder classic with Will Ferrell. I actually don't have much to say about this movie besides how stupidly awesome it is. It is definitely stupid humour, but it's funny. It's got a bit of a feel-good kind of ending, and yeah, I am a fan of Will Ferrell's acting. He delivers the comedic moments very well. Pardon. And I think him and John Heder worked well in this movie, so yeah, lots of fun. If you don't know what this movie is about, it's basically about two ice skaters who, I guess, basically are like banned from the sport after some those, I'd love to hear it. That'd be awesome. But yeah, this was cool. Watching them, I guess, both be at the top of their kind of careers and stuff, having to humble themselves and work together is always funny. But yeah, it's a good movie, and once again, just a pretty good comedy movie that you could put in the background. Alrighty. Another one we've got is Ice Age. So I would say this was pretty this was a movie from my younger age, and it's another one of those classics that I just feel like I watch a lot. I actually really like Sid the Sloth, and I guess all of them really. Manny, Diego. The PC's just gone off, so hopefully that's a bit quieter. But yeah, Ice Age, you just can't go wrong. It's really, really cute movie. Once again, its soundtrack killer. There's the that "Send Me on My Way" song by, I think it's Rusted Roots. That song is also from Matilda, I'm pretty sure, but you know, some people know it from this, some people know it from Matilda, some people know it from both. But good, cute movie. It's a good one. I guess you can watch with family and with kids and stuff. At the moment, my friendship circle's changing a lot. There's so many people having babies, and you know, their little kids are growing up and starting to watch TV and movies and stuff, so these are the good ones for that. I can't really be putting on Fast and the Furious for a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, but you know what I can? Bloody Ice Age, guys. Alrighty, so next one we have is Bruce Almighty with our comedy legend Jim Carrey. Quick tangent, has anyone seen what Jim Carrey looks like at the moment? No judgment ever to people who want to get like Botox in their face and, you know, like work done, but it was a little bit scary seeing his face after the procedures that he got done. But if he feels better, that's all that matters. I'll take my Jim Carrey in this period, thank you so much. I feel like Jim Carrey did a lot of really good movies around this time. My partner and I recently just rewatched Fun with Dick and Jane, where Jim Carrey plays a pretty successful businessman who him and his whole company go under, and him and his wife have to basically figure out what to do because they have a pretty luxurious lifestyle, and after he loses his job they can no longer afford it, so they have to do some pretty crazy shit, and that's pretty funny. But yeah, Bruce Almighty is a fun one. I think Morgan Freeman's in this as well. I think he actually plays God. Sorry if that's blasphemous for anybody, but I'm not really super religious, so it's not super blasphemous for me, and I truly apologise if that's offensive, but Bruce Almighty's pretty damn funny, so if you haven't watched it, I would suggest. Okay, we've got a couple more, and then that should be it. Partner's computer just switched on again for no reason. Don't know what its problem is, but oh well. Alright, I think we'll do these two together because they are kind of 1 and 2, but try and get a thumbnail. Alright, so Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. Now, these are probably, at the moment, I would say the better Fantastic Fours out. I did not like the new one with Pedro Pascal. No shade to them. I think they did the best they could, but I didn't like it. Yeah, it didn't tickle my fancy. But, you know, just because I I didn't like it doesn't mean it's not a good movie. Just because content is out there doesn't mean it's for everyone to enjoy. But yeah, I don't know if this is because it's more nostalgic to me, or if because I just feel that these are better movies than the newer one. I highly doubt that's the case, that they're better, but yeah, maybe it's the nostalgia factor, because I love these. I love Jessica Alba as Sue Storm. I love Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. I also love Chris Evans working his way through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think he's been like two or three people now. Actually, no, I think it's just been two. It's been Johnny Storm and Captain America. I'm pretty sure there was another one though, but I think I might be making stuff up now. Also, the Thing in this is better than what the Thing looks like in the new Fantastic Four. I'm so sorry, but I don't know what they did to that man. I laughed so hard when I saw it on screen the first time. I was just like, who is that? They did my boy bad. So bad. Okay. Last but not least is potentially a movie that made me realise that I could be sexually attracted to people, was Coyote Ugly. Can you blame me, really? It was just a whole bunch of attractive women dancing around on bar tops and being really fun and awesome and badass about it. You know, that's super attractive. But yeah, I think like when I was so young when I watched this, and I remember getting like hot and flustered and not understanding why, like what those feelings were. It must have been the first time I'd ever had that kind of like response to something that I was, I guess, attracted to. So yeah, so I actually thought I was getting sick because, you know, like I got like a little bit hot and sweaty, and I couldn't look at the TV. Like I felt guilty to look at the TV. Like I felt like I was doing something wrong, so I was watching with my parents, or I think maybe my friend's parents. And yeah, I just kind of remember being like, looking anywhere but the TV, because yeah, I guess I was embarrassed by the fact that I thought it was a lot more outwardly expressed. My attraction was a lot more outwardly expressed. And you know, as a little youngin', you kinda, it's not super easy to like navigate those things when you don't really know what is going on. So that was fun. But yeah, this some of the songs are in it are really good. Leanne Rhymes, what's the song? Can't find the moonlight deep in my dark. Yeah, Can't Find the Moonlight, that's it. I was trying to remember, but I had to read it. But yeah, Leanne Rhymes' song, Can't Find the Moonlight, it's a banger. I still like that song. The story was relatively cute. I liked a little, you know, Midwest girl going and living her dreams. And I like that the people at the bar ended up being nice to her. We love a good, feel-good movie here, guys. You know what, I say that, but then in my previous video I was showing you guys a movie called 12 Years a Slave, so I obviously don't like just feel-good movies, and I like to torture myself with sad stuff sometimes, but like rest of your